actually released the picture of the inside of the bunker where they say the atrocities took place. For as long as 2 years this was going on. Authorities say the child victims were tied to that bed and that chair, as well as a pole in that bunker. Then people paid money to violate them. Now you can see the outside of the building. It was built as a storm shelter but used as a den of horrors for these children. Take a look at the now 7 people who have been arrested in this case. It appears the first person you see there, Andres Trejo, was running the operation.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all having a great and wonderful day. Well, what we have here is the disgusting detail of what happened with kids being tortured and murdered here. Or rather, not murdered, but they might as well have been psychologically. So again, we have this where we have this from New York Post saying at least 10 kids, some as young as 2, were sexually tortured with shock collars while held captive as part of Alabama's sex trafficking ring. Now, what we also know that is from this is that these kids were also sold out by their own parents, trafficked by their own parents. So yeah, it's really disgusting in how we get to this point. And it happens to be 2 women because for some reason these people can't get sentences. And I'm almost certain that the 2 ladies are going to get less sentence than the men because that's how our justice system works. So without further ado, we're going to go through this as well with this with the news article going over it, but they don't explain exactly in detail what happens to these kids compared to what does to the article, but you guys need to know what these guys are saying.
I've been in law enforcement for 33 years, and this is absolutely the most horrible thing I've ever seen when it comes to victimization of children.
The sheriff of Bibb County releasing new shocking details in a case that's best described as a child sex trafficking ring.
And WVTM 13's Lisa Crane, she's been following this story for us. She's live and local at the sheriff's office right now. So Lisa, what did you learn today?
Well, the most tragic news coming from that press conference today is that they have identified 10 victims, boys and girls as old as 15 and as young as 3 years old. And they believe there are more of those victims out there. Now, we want to warn you, the details in this case are very disturbing. And some of the images we're going to show you may also be upsetting. But today, Sheriff Jody Wade actually released the picture of the inside of the bunker where they say the atrocities took place. For as long as 2 years this was going on. Authorities say the child victims were tied to that bed and that chair, as well as a pole in that bunker. Then people paid money to violate them. Now you can see the outside of the building. It was built as a storm shelter but used as a den of horrors for these children. Take a look at the now 7 people who have been arrested in this case. It appears the first person you see there, Andres Trejo, was running the operation. He's charged with multiple counts of human trafficking. The other 6 people, Chase McElroy, Dalton Terrell, Timothy St. John, Rebecca Brewer, Ricky Terrell, and Sarah Terrell, are facing charges from rape, sodomy, sexual torture, to human trafficking, kidnapping, even bestiality. The sheriff today spoke with how the alleged perpetrators found the victims.
Unfortunately, animals like...
So yeah, what we have here is that these people here, their own parents sold them out to sex trafficking, which is one of the most disgusting things that you could imagine. Imagine having a parent and then selling you to a world of actual nightmares, and there's no actual amount of psychological help that's going to help these kids. They're gone forever mentally, and I'm hoping that these people will get the lights out treatment. I mean, obviously, the prison will probably give them the lights out treatment, but these people do not deserve to roam the earth at all. These people are monsters. These people are demons, and they deserve to be removed from society. And by removed from society, I mean lights out. So YouTube would probably bing me for it. That just means because they're probably like, well, YouTube, I guess you're going to be defending child predators here because this is what these are. These people are monsters. They do not deserve to be defended in any regard. And as I said, they just have gone. So we're gonna go further on to what's happening here.
Unfortunately, animals like this, they do have their own network. They've got people that they can call. They've got ads they can take out, be it on any kind of social media platform or something like that. So it is somewhat of an underground thing, but it is well known. Not all the offenders were necessarily familiar with the people that they were purchasing the kids from.
Now, the sheriff says there are many victims are children of the accused. The victims, many of them anyway, are children of the accused. Not only does the sheriff believe that there are more victims out there, but he also believes they're going to be making more arrests in this case. There may be more perpetrators as well. Coming up at 5, we're going to hear from the sheriff on why the Department of Homeland Security is also involved in this investigation. Live in Bibb County.
Yeah, so even Homeland Security is involved in this, which makes this a way bigger deal. So I think that that this is something that is disgusting here. Eventually, I will do a video of this, of what's been going on, because it's disgusting. And what we have here is the actual full story here. Now, this is when they were tortured with shock collars and stuff like that. This is going to go into more grisly detail of what's going on here. So we have at least 10 children as young as 2 years old were held captive in an Alabama storm bunker for 3 years and sexually tortured through the use of tools like animal shock collars as part of a horrific sex trafficking ring organized by some of the victims' own parents. So far, even suspects have been arrested as part of the roundup of the ring, including 3 family members and 2 mothers whose children were also trapped and abused in their basement. Yeah, so that's great. And good job, parents. You guys deserve more than that. We have this here where we have Veracruz Trejo would allegedly drug the young victims, and all between the ages of 2 and 15 years, by putting a white powder in their drinks before bringing in clients who would pay up to $1,000 to violate the children. Through it all, the selected children would be tied up during the act, often to limited furniture in the room, including a grimy mattress, a chair, and a support pole. And it goes on to say here, the house itself was either owned by or near a home belonging to the McCroy's elderly grandparent, Jones said. 2 of the victims who were forced to perform sexual acts on each other told authorities that McCroy was the one who had both taught them the process and performed it on himself. Sarah Lewis Terror allegedly placed animal shock collars on the victims, which the suspect would use on the children's genitals as a form of punishment and self-serving sexual gratification. These victims included both her children and Vesco Trejo Brewer's children. Vesco Trejo and Brewer shared the 3 children together. Brewer also had a 4th child from a separate relationship. It's unclear on how many were locked up in the basement alongside the other victims. It's unclear on how many children belonging to Sarah Lou's child were involved or who their fathers were. Yeah, so these people are demons. They're not even human at this point. Once you put shock collars onto children, specifically on their most sensitive areas, this is where you become subhuman garbage. You deserve death incarnate. Now, you can say, see what we have here? We got Brian Kroger here with his stuff. Yeah, no, that guy's evil. He's bad. But he still fails in comparison to these monsters. There is a level of crime that is a higher tier, right? These people are the higher level of crime. These people are the monsters that deserve to be put in prison or at least have the lights out treatment. It's like the mothers are almost bar none worse than the guys. And it's just disgusting on how we can even have this, even remotely, have this part. So again, we have this here. Wade noted that there's no telling on how many more victims there may be in the Grandeur trafficking scheme as the investigation continues in tandem with the Department of Homeland Security. It says, part of the unified investigation will probe suspects' potential affiliations with the Mexican gang Serranos, which makes a majority of its profits through child sex trafficking. So the victims are in custody of the Alabama Department of Human Resources and are given much needed access to counselors. No child deserves this. The power and control of it, the stealing of the innocence of a child, and the horrible victimization they went through with these monsters. Some of the older children will carry this vividly for the rest of their lives. You can't heal from this, but you can move on as best you can. No, they can't live from this. They are mentally gone. These kids are mentally gone. The 2-year-olds will probably not remind this. It will probably be in their deep psyche, though. So yeah, this is just abhorrent. These are monsters that deserve no light punishment. And again, they deserve lights out. I'll keep saying it to the day I die. They deserve lights out. These are monsters. I couldn't even fathom on why you would even want to do this to children, let alone a 2-year-old. Dear God, we'll be lucky if these kids don't end up shooting up in the streets somewhere. And you know what? I can't really blame them considering what they went through. These people are demons. They deserve all the pain and torturing of what they deserve. This is our society, guys. This is what we deal with, and it would only be justice if they are removed from society forever. All right, guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.